And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals to Group D, to the winners match. We just wrapped up with the first two series of the night, and now we are here to determine the first player to make it through from the group stage into the playoffs from Group D. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid, the reigning world champion, the best player in the world. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the best Zerg player in all of South Korea. It is Dark. Here we go. This is a much more important match here for Dark as well, because we are looming on military service. For those that are curious, I did slip up earlier, almost introducing Dark as being on a team, but Dark, he is currently teamless. He was on Talon Esports for quite some time, but recently did leave the team, citing that military service was on the horizon. That of course, that military has been something that he's been postponing for a time. In that time, what happened with Dark? He became a dad. He became a papi, and I'm sure a big reason as to why military service was postponed was because he wanted to be there for the birth of his daughter, to be able to raise his daughter as well. And you know, now that that has kind of gone through in a way, I mean, military service is still something that needs to be done here. It is mandatory, so that is looming here for Dark, and is something that is coming up soon. TM, most thinking here in January. So this may be the last premier event, the last big event that Dark competes in. And I'm hoping it goes out with a bang. I'm hoping he makes it to the playoffs. I'm hoping he makes a deep, deep run in this tournament. But making through the group stage is the first step. First things first, though. Welcome to Amygdala. Welcome to a gasless opener. Let's go. We are going to be opening up gases. We have spoken about this in the past, but there are certain maps here in the map pool that you can get away with this kind of build on. I would say this is risky. I would say this is risky on Amygdala. Typically, we see gaseous openers on El Dorado, on maps like Abyssal Reef, on Neon Violet Square, on King's Cove even. The reason for this, when you go for a gaseous opener, no link speed. No link speed. Oh, also my apologies. Predictions. Predictions are open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat on who you think will advance on in this best of 3. But again, without link speed, you have to try to keep up with the Reaper Hellion aggression with purely queens. With purely queens and a handful of slow links. So Dark, he is cutting corners, and on the maps that I just mentioned, maps like Neon Violet Square, like Abyssal Reef, like El Dorado, you have a very narrow choke point or a ramp coming into the natural, and likewise a much more defendable third base. Here on Amygdala, less so. Here the entry points here are quite wide open, they're quite large, so I would say it's going to be a little bit more difficult to defend with purely queens. The plus side is the rush distance. The rush distance by ground is longer, that is true, and I think that that is what Dark is trying to rely upon, but this still feels quite risky, especially considering that Clem is notorious for punishing players that go into gaseous openers. What do you see here? 1-1-1, no third TC. No third TC. Very aggressive build here by Clem. He's going to be in the face of Dark with a mass amount of Hellions. This is how Clem dismantled Serral previously in EWC. And here we go, Hellions, they go for the dive. Lings are trying to keep up. So far, good defense here out of Dark, but Hellions they make their way to the mineral line. Drones are going to get roasted. But how many? The drones, they turn back around. 2 workers going to be going down so far. Another volley goes off, but the Hellions should be cleaned up. Only 2 drones falling. So far, good defense here by Dark. Whew. So far, good defense, but Clem is not done. Clem, he's not done. Going for the dive once again. Again, Clem, he has no limits here when it comes to just his willingness to dive into these mineral lines. He wants to punish Dark for his greed. So far, 4 drone kills. Can he get more? The answer is no. The answer is no more. One more shot, the Hellion is going to go down, but no queen in the main. Oh. No queen in the main base, some more drones going to be falling. Getting 5, can he get up to 6? Can he get up to 7? Ooh, not quite. 5 workers falling. Not a bad start here out of Clem. Basically a 1-to-1 trade. 4 Hellions, 1 Reaper for 5 workers. But again, Clem is still not done. He keeps on diving in. Again, his goal here is he needs to punish Dark. Takes down 2, takes down 3 more drones. 8 in total. Oof. 8 drones in total, getting up to 9. Getting up to almost 10. 9 drones going down throughout all this, still rallying across the map, still more Hellions, and here comes that Banshee follow-up. And again, typically by now is what I will say, typically Serral would have lost it. I was going to say Serral would have lost like 15 workers by now, but we're getting there as the drone count is building up, or the drone kill count is building up, getting up to 12 workers. Spores are not ready, there is no detection, of the Banshee is pulling Dark apart. Again, this was a 1-1-1 opener, no third TC, faster cloak Banshee here out of Clem. The aggression has been on point, and he does get 15 drones. 15 workers do fall, and he's still not done. And again, this is the risk you take when you go gasless. This is the risk, and this is why I was concerned for Dark doing this on Amygdala, especially against Clem. Clem, he's known for this. He's known for just aping Hellions into mineral lines over and over and over again. He does it time and time again against Serral, and now he does it here against Dark. Now going for the Queens. Clutch Transfuse. But alas, we've gotten, what, 19, 20 drone kills. 20 workers going down. That is borderline game-ending damage at this point. Lair is just now on the way. Dark, he's stuck, re-droning, resaturating. No tech, no roach horn, no Bailey Nest, no nothing. Dark, he is in trouble. But Clem finally backs off. But he did the damage. He did what he wanted, and now he went for a much later third CC. But because of all the damage he's dealt, it's worth it. It is worth having a delayed CC at this point. As Clem can now land it, he even supply blocks Dark. He's going for the fourth base. And behind this, getting and settling into his 5-rack setup. Still 12 workers ahead. That is... This is where we have to say the soup does lie. The drone count is in dire straits for Dark. He is up in workers, but to be up in workers, everything is late. The lair is late, the roach horn's late, the gases are late, the fourth base is late. Everything has been delayed. The upgrades are late as well, as 1-1 is almost done for Clem. So to make up for sustaining all those losses, Dark had to redrone. In redroning, he's falling behind, and here comes the push. And Dark does not have an army. He is not quite ready for this. He's massing up roaches as we speak. Dark, he is in trouble. We'll see if he can survive. We'll see if he can buy time here. Oh boy. So Clem is pushing forward. Tank is siege. So far, massive loads going in for the queens. One queen goes down. And again, Dark, he's barely holding on. Again, he has no upgrades for these roaches. They are vanilla roaches. 0-0. I mean, they're slow as well. And Clem, he's having his way with this army. Massive tank boys going off. Roach is going to be going down as well. And from here, he can go for the queens. Yeah, the queens are under threat. There's maybe one transfuse left. Does land it. The vials, they connect with the tank. Tank goes down. And Dark, he's somewhat holding. I mean, it's going to cost him every queen. Oh, God. Does cost him all the queens. Does cost him most of the roaches. That was, I'm afraid to look at the losses here. 9 roaches, 5 queens for a tank, a banshee, and a couple of marines. And Clem, he's rallying. He's still rallying across the map. Is still pushing in. Dark 1-1 is soon to finish. True. Oh no. As remember, the queen count was reset. The queen count was completely reset. Dark, he's down to 0 queens. He lost every queen in that defense, so no more injects. No more anti-air. 1 queen does pop out. Scan reveals the tech, reveals that Hive is on the way. And here comes the second wave for Clem. Oh god, the tank boys are brutal. And GG gets called as Clem overwhelms, and Clem takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Clem getting those 20 plus drone kills was game-ending damage. As we tried to emphasize there, even if at the end of that you see Dark ahead in workers, that, I mean, he did sacrifice a lot to try to maintain that economy. Everything else was late, everything else was behind. We spoke about it, the bases, the production, the tech, the upgrades. That is why Clem just ended the game with that follow-up push. I'm impressed that Dark survived the first wave. That was impressive, but as we saw, it cost him every queen. Every queen was pulled to defend. They all went down, which means no more injects, which means, I mean, even with somewhat of an economy, could not sustain those losses. And that takes us here into game number 2. Takes us into game 2 here. It's going to be on El Dorado. And again, specifically, I do want to wind it back a little bit here. These gasless openers are something that Serral does a lot against Clem, and Serral dies a lot to Clem in doing so. If you were watching our coverage of EWC, we were co-streaming, if you remember, at the time, and most of the wins that Clem had over Serral were based off of that as well. Were based off of Clem punishing Serral for these gasless openers. Like Clem, as soon as he sees that, he will skip his third CC, he will go for a 1-1-1, he will mass up Hellions, and he will pull you apart, or at least try to, and usually succeed. But now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing himself, currently teamless, but looking to fight back and looking to force the ace match. It is Dark. Scene chat, would it be better to give up the 4th base in that case than pull back drone/army to hold at the ramp? Specifically, if you're referring to that game state, Dark was already dead. We mentioned it before, but at this level of play, losing 20 workers to the early game Hellion Banshee harass, and for both Banshees to survive as well, like, the reality is that is that's game-ending damage, like, unironically. Like, if Dark pulls away and gives up the 4th base, he's still behind, and Clem can just keep pushing. Like, it's just, yeah. Like, the move out was more of a formality, kind of, in that sense. It does sound brutal, it does sound like a little, very much so unforgiving, but, I mean, that's kind of the level that we're talking about here between Clem and Dark, where you cannot, like, make mistakes like that, or you cannot sustain those kind of losses. Your defense needs to be tighter here against a player like Clem. Does need to be tighter. Cool. Here we go. Here we go. Because again, 20 workers, that's over a mineral line. Like, that's crazy. that's insane. But once again, gaseous opener. Now, what I will, if you recall, I did mention this at the start of game 1. I do like this more on El Dorado. I do like this more. So we have the same opener, the same build. Clem confirms. He confirms the gaseous opener here of Dark, but I would say that here on El Dorado, it is more difficult to punish the Zerg player. Not impossible, but more difficult. The reason for this is because you have to jump through more hoops. As we mentioned, as opposed to the previous map, here there's a ramp. There is a more narrow entry point towards the natural that you can defend. Likewise, this 3rd base is more fortifiable as well, because the Terran has to mine through these minerals, or mine through these minerals here back at home to gain access to this location. So again, Clem needs a little more setup. He needs a little more prepared here to actually be able to punish the Zerg player. So we'll see how Clem approaches this. Oh, and there it is, already a very stark contrast, 3rd TC. Last game we had a 1-1-1 straight into Banshee Hellion here from Clem, this time 3rd TC before Starport. As we mentioned, it is more difficult to punish a Zerg player on this map, and Clem, he understands that, he accepts that, and he goes for an economic build instead. So I do really appreciate this this transition, or this response out of Clem, and that means we're going to get a longer game. It means that Clem is not going to be as aggressive. He's not going to try to be as aggressive as last game. And Dark confirms. Dark, he pokes in. Dark, he should be feeling pretty good about this. He does get eyes on the 3rd CC, so he knows there's going to be less coming his way. Not nothing, but less. So we can actually get into a back and forth here. As the Reaper is, oh my, just barely getting away. The Reaper does slip by. Hellions, they move in towards the natural, but last the queens are in position. And you can see here, with 3 queens, you can wall this up. Oh. As Clem does take down the tumor. Tumor does go down. Behind this, getting to his own 2-1-1. Soon to be 3-1-1 setup here. Hello. My apologies. Okay, yeah, sorry. My apologies. It is going to be a 3cc 2-1-1. It is even a later starport. I did miss that second rack, so this is an interesting style here. On the one hand, this is going to be delayed aggression. What this means is that even less Hellions. I believe only 2 or 4. Let's see, 2. So only 2 Hellions for Clem, and Clem, he went for an add-on swap earlier for faster Marine production into a stim timing with 16 Marines and 2 medevacs. So this is going to be a very strong bio timing here from Clem. It means that there's basically 0 Hellion like presence here for Clem, so that's the downside. The upside, though, being, of course, the mass amount of Marines and the eventual bio move out. And this does allow Clem to head straight towards the 4th and the 3rd. The downside, of course, is that this hits later. This does hit later, so it allows Dark to establish himself. He's on full 3-base saturation, building up his queens. Roach Warren has been thrown down, and roaches are amassing. We'll see what Clem can get done. As here come the double drop, 16 Marine push. I say 16, a little bit less than that, my apologies. 14. 14 Marines moving out. Clem expanding towards his opponent. Because of this expansion pattern, we'll keep an eye on Clem. He might 8 racks. He might just 8 racks Dark. That may be the go-to. As Marines, they do push in. Oh. But now going to be deflected. Now going to be deflected. Dark trying to maintain that gold, but alas, Clemmy's on the other side, going for the queens, does not quite get them. Medevac taking a lot of hits, but Clemmy does pull away, does survive. Bleeding out 2 Marines. 2 Marines so far. Getting into 1-1 so far. Darky's maintaining himself, Hellion into the mineral line. Does get 2 drones, not bad. Considering these Hellions, they don't really scale well into this game. Nice damage. 2 drones do fall. These are 2 extra racks on the way. So far, this is a 5 rack setup. Again, I'm trying to keep my eye on those racks. We'll see if he throws down 3 more racks. It's a 3 base all in. As no gases have been taken yet. And again, this is a good map for an A-Rax. It's a good map for a 3 base all in. As Clem is being forced back. Dark, he's trying to keep up. So far, so good. He's able to get his gold base up and running, massing out more roaches, going for a Nidus Worm. Let's go! Nidus Worm's on the way. Gases are being taken. Clem is not going all in. He is expanding. Double gases into a second factory, into a 4th CC. So we're getting into a longer game state. But Dark, he is cutting workers here and now at 73. Uh-oh. That's 3.5 base saturation. And he's going for a Swarm Host. This we have seen. If you were here earlier this week, we casted Dark versus Cure on this map on El Dorado. And Dark, he was going for Nidus Worms here towards the top side, going for Nidus Worms into Swarm Host, into Locust Waves towards the natural. So Dark, he's done this before against Cure. We'll see if he can do it again as the Bio Army is breaking through. Oh my god! The Lynx go down, the Roaches go down as well, the Marines, they stim in! And Dark is in trouble. Is Dark forced to spend his Locust Wave back at home? Drones are going down, and before the Swarm Host can really come into play, we're being punished. 5, 6 drones go down, 1 Medevac falls, but these are still efficient trades here for Clem. Catching 2 more Queens. 2 more Queens go down. Did Clem notice the Swarm Host? Hard to say. Nidus does complete. Here comes the Locust Wave. Now Clem, he can lift the CC. But the Rings are in position. Clem, he is ready for this. I wonder if he was watching Cure's games. I mean, they are teammates, true. But very nice cleanup. Despite that, 11 SCVs. Okay. Nicely done here by Dark. He does get some workers. He's getting damage done. Nidus Storm is going to fall. And Dark is going for the gold. He's attempting to get it up and running. Clement's being active, hunting down tumors, catching an Overlord. Oh. Files don't quite connect. Dark trying to keep up, going for a Nidus into the main. Clem, does he notice? So far, he has not. He's focusing here on the main push. Clem, he's distracted. And the Nidus is going to finish. Ooh, as Files, they do connect. Locust Wave into the main. There is somewhat of an army in position. Stimming in. Ooh, massive tank shots. And Tank Boy's going up. Clemmy defends. Bleeding out a handful of SCVs. Clemmy holds on in the main. Rotating over. Nidus Swarms are falling. Both armies are maxing out. Clem does have a more efficient army. And Dark is going to try to engage, but he cannot take this fight. Clem, he avoids the vials. Breaks through, takes down the Nidus. No mining here at the southern gold base. Dark, he's going to try to engage. But Clem, he just pushes in. LiuLi's a tank, but that may not matter. Oof. As Dark is being pinned against the wall. Rocks get knocked down. Oh, they take down the... Oh no! They get a Swarm Host. One Swarm Host got trapped. Not like this. And at this point, Clemmy's doubling out control. He breaks through the Roach Ravager. There's almost nothing left here to defend. Dark is falling back, trying to hold on. He has some Swarm Host ready. But Locust Wave is on cooldown, and the base, it's going to fall. And Dark, he cannot stop this. was able to apply some pressure across the map. But again, the rush distance by ground on this map is brutal. And this is where Clem can thrive. As it doesn't take long at all to just reinforce and just rally across. To just send it across the map. Locust Wave is ready. Marines, they stim in. As Clem, he just kites back, takes out the Locusts. Tanks, they do the rest. GG gets called as Dark is broken, and Clem, he will take the series at 2-0. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played, Clem. He will advance on, is in first place out of Group D, and Dark, he's going to be knocked down to the decider match. But GG, well played, regardless, a very intense series here, very intense matches. I mean, Game 1 was more one-sided, that is true, as Clem, he popped off early on, but here in Game 2, we had more of a back and forth. It was great to see Dark swarm her style once again. Again, we saw it earlier this week in Dark series against Cure in that ZVT. We got to see it here once again against Clem as well. Against Cure was more effective. If you remember, in the Cure series, Cure, he didn't just have his natural base, of course. So he didn't just have a CC at his natural base. He had his E base as well. And Dark, he denied 2-2 3 times. He killed the eBay, the set of eBays, and the armory 3 times. It was crazy just how much value those Locust Waves were getting in the natural. Alas, there was nothing in the natural base of Clem. He was a lot more safer when it came to his tech, and he even had reinforcements in position. So even though he lost 11 SCVs, he still maintained a greater economy. He took the gold base himself, and from there, Clem snowballed out of control. Yes, the Nidus did finish into the main, but damage wasn't really being done. Clem, for the most part, was in position, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Oh. GG, well played. With that, Clem will advance on in first place. But the question becomes, who advances on in second? Who will make it through alongside him? That is the question. As hopefully we don't get left behind, as we have some series ahead of us. We have our next match. It is going to be the elimination match. The elimination match is coming up ahead of us. It is going to be a PvP between Cristiano and Jeshi. Let's go. Let us go. The loser of this series is going to be eliminated from the tournament. The winner will advance on to face against Dark in the decider match. So we have 2 best of 3s remaining here. And hopefully I don't get left behind. There we go. Beautiful. Whew. As vetoes are underway. Just catching up. Yeah, vetoes are underway. So we're going to be going in a short break. Going to be going in a very short break here, and when we return, we'll have that PvP ahead of us here. And I'm ready. I'm excited. I feel like Cristiano, he wasn't able to show us his full force. I mean, neither was Jeshi in their previous matches, and potentially we could see a more back and forth here between these two in the elimination match. I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. But now, we'll see you guys after the short break, and we'll be back soon with our next match. See you soon.